Yesterday's conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out, stop it. I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me, just for me to sound honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Yo, good afternoon, everybody. We are inching closer to the new year. Yes, I feel blessed, man. Honestly, I feel ready. I feel hyped up. I hope you guys are too, man. Get yourself right and prepare for 6 months out, 12 months out, 18 months out. Don't just live day to day anymore, week to week anymore. Really plan things out and create yourself a future. Hey, you know how it goes. That's 509 Vampires Podcast. I hope you guys are doing amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with a few things that I've noticed from Netflix, right? These shows that I'm about to show you, they're little clips, but they just go to show that sometimes these shows drop a little truth bomb in them here and there. Let's play this for you, all right? This is one of my newest favorite shows, Archive 81. It references Blavatsky and Alistair. So you know those two names, Alistair Crowley and Helena Blavatsky. They don't use the exact names, but it's very obvious that they're talking about occultists from the 1900s and names that are used, like they use one of the same names. They use both same names. You get it. Here you go.
Be surprised. God is forbidden sex secrets. The truth brought secrets from all the book. Three more keys. There is great power in the
So right there it talks about the church, right? This guy's a pastor to a church, and you see the stained glass windows, very reminiscent of symbolic, powerful churches, the old school, and they having access to hidden libraries, archives, ancient doctrines, texts, very powerful things, spell books, curses, hexes, everything that's along the magic side. You know, trying to put it all together and figure out what exactly is going on. You know, you can definitely see that they are highly interested in the occult through demons or aliens, angels, spirits. That they want to figure it all out. All the churches collectively, all across all religions, at least if they're true to spirituality. And yeah, you know, that was a little interesting. This guy goes and gets killed for knowing too much, though, and for being in a church. But I think that there's more to it. I'm gonna figure out in the next couple seasons. Maybe that's just my brain working on cloud 10. Hey, we go. Here, next one is that Inside Job. Everyone's been talking about it, right? Literally, it's been one of my favorites too. It's so funny. Here you go.
Welcome to the other side. You want to talk about connections? These print tiles literally have blue blood. This is incredible. I can't believe who's secretly a reptoid. Anderson Cooper? Taylor Swift?
So the song Shake It Off was about how I shed my skin every 1,000 years. And the song Bad Blood was about how I drink blood out of my Grammys.
Toast to blood. Save some blood for Paul Rudd.
So that's why Paul Rudd never ages. Oh.
Yo, you guys gotta watch that Inside Job. If you guys like these topics or just love funny comedy, conspiracy-minded comedy, that Inside Job is 10 for 10. All right, we're gonna go and continue on to the news. One of the funniest things I've seen today, Gymgasms. Yo, you gotta be kidding me. If anyone comes around here having Gymgasms, I'm gonna walk away, all right? We don't need no Gymgasms going on. I can't believe this article exists. It's from the Cosmopolitan, December 2022. He says, because there is truly no better motivation to work out than the potential for a surprise orgasm. I don't understand it. Or is this kid, like, who in their right mind is gonna try to climax during a workout? And like, I mean, an overly focus on it, and like, yeah. If you're doing that, you shouldn't be at the gym. All right, man. That's a little ridiculous. Dr. Heather Jeffcoat, founder of Femina Physical Therapy, says it's a lot more common than you might think. Oh, really? In fact, according to a study published by famed sexologist Alfred Kinsey, the phenomenon dates back to the early 1950s. The research varies, but the Journal of Sexual and Relationship Therapy reported that 1 in 10 women report having an exercise-induced orgasm in their life, while an even smaller population experiences them on the regular. So why even mention this? It's just because it's possible, so they're going to have people running out to the gym more and trying to figure it out. Hey, all right, you know what? If this is Cosmopolitan's way of promoting fitness and body positivity through the gym and working out hard, then all for it. You know what, I just found this interesting. This popped up on Twitter and everywhere. It's hilarious. We're gonna continue forward. Something a little realer, all right. Core One Labs nearing commercial mushroom production in Canada. Hey, you heard that? I mean, that's Canada. For all my Canadians, all right? You guys got some good things coming. Commercial production of its clinical grade psilocybin at Good Manufacturing Practices facilities in January 2023 will start being produced in Vancouver. The outlet reported that the company's chief executive officer, Joel Shacker, explained that the company is on course with the initial phase of testing its commercial capabilities for high-grade psilocybin. We anticipate positive results regarding Core One's commercial capabilities and quickly moving towards commercialization of our products, a milestone we anticipate will attract potential investors and please our current shareholders. Core One announced nearing Good Manufacturing Practices quality level of its psychedelic compounds as the company has progressed its negotiations with certified facilities and is developing a high detailed plan to provide high quality and affordable psychedelic medicine to properly licensed clinics and distributors. The company said at the time that its goal was to create pharmaceutical grade psychedelic products for patients to treat a range of diseases, including anxiety, depression, addictions, Parkinson's, and other mental health and neurological disorders. By partnering with GMP grade facilities, our plan is to start with manufacturing psychedelic compounds and putting them in an easy to take form for patients, such as capsules. This can be done with Core One's proprietary API grade psilocybin as well as other compounds the company has been testing. Core One's pipelines progresses, we plan to create our own drug formulations that can also be manufactured at these GMP facilities. GMP is a pillar of the quality assurance process that seeks to ensure that our products are manufactured in a consistent manner that meets or exceeds mandated safety and quality standards. Hey, that's great. America was just looking into a nationwide legalization, a nationwide push for medical benefits of the psilocybin. Hey, more power to the people, because there's still things like this going on. Everybody in the Emerald Triangle that go check on, guys. Send them a text, because look, a powerful 6.4 earthquake just shook it early Tuesday morning. It left a lot of the Emerald Triangle in rubbles. I don't know how much, but you can definitely see this is torn up. There were multiple houses torn up. More than 70,000 lose power. Sheesh. Oh man. So some elderly died, as we know right now. 11 people injured. Well, I mean, it's a earthquakes are a common thing in some areas of the West Coast. But go check on your friends, guys. And rest in peace to those elderly. While that's going on, we wonder if it's from above. Nah, maybe. Who knows, right? A high altitude airship spotted recently near South China Sea. Actually, look, the reason that this is popping up is because for like 2 to 3 years, researchers have been pushing and pressing the point that there are these things right here, these industrial grade and city size blimps. Nah, maybe like town size. I don't know. These things are huge, up in the sky already, way up high up in the atmosphere, and they're reflective, so you can't really see them. And they might have that cloaking technology too, which is pretty much just reflection and reflective. It's very powerful what they got. These things have been up there for the last couple of years. We've been calling it out, pointing it out, researchers for a while. So they definitely got to start admitting it, because it was too obvious. We were calling all their bluffs. And also, I think it's probably part of their disclosure effort into actually showing their technology. Now we have like freaking crazy sky technology that's like super advanced. So hey, more power to the people, because this will transfer over into the public again. And eventually, within like 5 years, we'll have people riding on blimps, commercial blimps. I know NASA is already switching over to blimps and helium balloons and stuff. So I imagine probably within 10 years, you start seeing these things fly around the sky again. Supposedly, conspiracy time is that 100 years ago and before, these things were the known method of transportation for hundreds or thousands of years. Pretty much, we've had blimps for hundreds or thousands of years. Is what people are speculating. Who knows? Because these new blimps might have things like this, so it's pretty important to understand what I'm talking about. Is these laser weapons? I think I harped on this before, so I'm not gonna get it too much into it. I'm just showing you these laser weapons are gonna be applied to everything: airplanes, blimps, helicopters, drones, motorcycles, Humvees, airplanes. Yeah, so space warfare is about to get cray cray within the next 15 years. You see, we evolve, and we're about to hit that evolution, that huge boost, that huge evolution. All right, guys. Let's take a quick break for a second. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll be back one moment. We are back, and what we're gonna talk about right now is this shipwreck by explorer Ernest Shackleton. The ship is named Endurance. It was discovered nearly 10,000 feet underwater at the bottom of the Weddell Sea off the coast of Antarctica, where it sank in November 1915. Eerily, around the same time as Titanic. Dun, dun, dun. The 144-foot long, three-masted ship was located at 4.6 miles south of the last estimated position by the members of the Endurance 22 expedition under the auspices of the Falklands Maritime Heritage Trust. Shackleton aimed to make the first land crossing of Antarctica, but his plans went awry when Endurance got stuck in a dense pack ice, and the crew of 28 was forced to abandon ship. The men spent months camping on ice floes that carried them northward until they could make their way by lifeboat to uninhabited Elephant Island. Shackleton and several others continued for another 800 miles to the island of South Georgia, where they enlisted help of the rescue to the rest of the crew. The same sea ice that doomed Endurance has foiled multiple attempts to locate the ship over the past century, but 2022's effort was aided by historically low ice levels. When the team viewed video of the wreck captured by remotely operated submersible, they were struck by its sea level of preservation, which is largely thanks to the absence of wood-eating parasites in the frigid Weddell Sea. Never have I seen a wreck as intact or as clean and fresh as the Endurance, says marine archaeologist Menson Bound, the expedition's director of exploration. One of the first items that came into view was the ship's rudder, which had been ripped off by the ice, allowing water to penetrate the ship, ultimately making it unsalvageable. As the camera panned up, it captured the ship's name arced across the stern, and underneath it, a five-pointed depiction of Polaris, the North Star. Along with the ship's wheels, both of her anchors, and the portholes of Shackleton's cabin bound singles out as particularly noteworthy. A trio of whole crew members cut through the deck to retrieve supplies from the sinking ship. They were able to extract 3 tons of food, and straight away, they were back on full rations. He says, that food lasts all the way until they got to Elephant Island, and I'm pretty confident that it saved their lives. So we can check it out right here. Interesting. So this is cool, just uncovering old stuff. Never hurts. Look at these things. The rights of Zhou, an administrative text dating to late in China's Eastern Zhou dynasty, includes 6 recipes for creating bronze objects such as bells, mirrors, and swords based on a combination of 2 ingredients, jin and qi. Some scholars have assumed that jin was copper and qi was tin, but if that were the case, the recipes would have produced metal with far higher tin concentrations that then has been detected in Eastern Zoo bronze items. Moreover, these bronze artifacts generally contain at least 10% lead, while lead can be contaminated in copper. This would not account for the levels of lead that have been measured. Rulang Lu, early China collector, curator at the British Museum, and archaeologist A.M. Pollard of the University of Oxford proposed that jin and qi were actual alloys. The recipes could work if they calculate if jin were roughly 80% copper, 15% tin, and 5% lead, and if qi were equal parts copper and lead. This could mean that jin and qi were mixed before being delivered to workshops where bronze objects were produced. However, given the wide variability in the proportions of the metals in the Chinese bronze objects from the time, it seems that recipes from the rites of Zhou conveyed an illusion of uniformity lacking in practice. The alloy and composition is all over the place, which means that the people in the workshop were never following these recipes very strictly. They were doing whatever they liked, and the archaeological materials show that. So every item was unique. Here's what they're showing. So look at we're gonna show some more artifacts. Oh wait, dun, dun, dun. Maybe. Right here. Artifacts from a shipwreck. Just old pieces of history. This is from the wreck of Erebus near the Inuits. They reported a vessel trapped in ice in the late 19th century. These are everything that have been found so far. Very cool. I'm gonna light up a incense real quick. You guys listen to this cool, handy dandy, awesome, dope music. All right, guys, I'm back. Stem cell transplants may delay disability longer than some MS medications. Stem cells are a huge research, huge topic. Everybody wants to get up in them and use them, and they help lives. They shift lives. They push people to new limits, help create new lives, and protect people. Endure, um, vitality, strength. It's just overall, it can change people for the better. You just have to be, willing to do that. Fatty liver disease endangers brain health. People with liver disease caused by too much eating of sugars and fats could be increased with a risk of developing serious neurological conditions like depression or dementia. In a study examining the link between non alcoholic fatty liver disease and brain dysfunction, scientists at the Roger Williams Institute of Hepatology, affiliated to King's College London and the University of Lausanne, found an accumulation of fat in the liver causes a decrease in oxygen to the brain and inflammation to brain tissue, both of which have been proven to lead to the onset of severe brain diseases. The research, conducted in collaboration with INSERM and the University of Poitiers in France, involved feeding two different diets to mice. Half of the mice consumed a diet with no more than 10% fat in their calorie intake, while the others intake contained 55% fat, which resembled a diet of processed foods and sugary drinks. After 16 weeks, researchers conducted a series of tests to compare the effects of these diets of the body and more specifically on the liver and the brain. They found that all mice consuming the higher levels of fat were considered obese and developed insulin resistance and brain dysfunction. The study, which was funded by the University of Lausanne and Foundation of Liver Research, was also showing that the brain of mice with NAFLD suffered from lower oxygen levels. This is because the disease affects the number of thickness of the brain blood vessels, which delivers less oxygen to the brain, but also due to specific cells consuming more oxygen while the brain is becoming inflamed. These mice were also more anxious and showed signs of depression. By comparison, the mice consuming the healthy diet did not develop NAFLD or insulin resistance. They behaved normally and the brain was completely healthy. So, Don't fuck with these sugary stuffs, these fatty foods, these fake fats, these fake sugars. It's pretty much what it's saying, and your brain health will be 50 will be it's increasingly better. Your body will be better. Now, for better health, neutron experiments reveal what maintains bones in good function. What maintains good function in our bone cells? They comprise of collagen and nanoparticles of minerals, but also other minor ingredients. Certain protein compounds, such as protoglycans, are embedded in a tissue of collagen fibers, and nanocrystals play important roles in tissue formation and maintenance. Protoglycans may be compared to salt in the soup. Too little and too much of it is not good. The protoglycans can retain water, and there are plenty of PGs in healthy cartilage, making it as elastic as a sponge. Together, these components form an extracellular matrix, a 3D structure that provides strength and elasticity, ensuring function for many years. In bones, an open network of channels and pores with diameters ranging from a few hundred nanometers to micrometers is created in this 3D structure. This LCN hosts the bone osteocytes, cells that sense load and orchestrate bone remodeling. In the LCN and within the nanocomposite, bone contains up to 20% of its volume in water, which many functions include toughening and adaptation to mechanical stress. To determine the amount of incorporated water, the researchers first immersed bone samples in water and transilluminated them with neutrons provided the Berlin experimental reactor at HTZB. Following by saturation in deuterated heavy water, 3D data was collected again, and the difference between the two bone states allowed the team to determine for each spine vertebrae the precise amount of water displaced by diffusion of the deuterated water. In addition, we examined sections of the bone samples and analyzed them by electron microscopy and micro CAT scan. We also determined the PG concentration with Raman spectroscopy. Spectroscopy. Until now, it was assumed that both bone types contained similar amounts of water and had very similar composition and properties. In fact, however, the neutron examination showed that the bone material of zebrafish releases half as much water of that as a medaka, whichever that is. This is all the more surprising because these bones have a very similar microstructure of mineralized collagen fibers, but zebrafish also contain large cells within the LCN. My first reaction, this must be wrong, so we checked everything thoroughly and realized it's really revolutionary. The only explanation for the difference is that bone matrices of the two species differ in fundamental compositional component that affects water permeability. And here, both histological studies and Raman spectroscopy show it's the small but important contribution of PGs. The Medaka samples contain far less PG than the zebrafish samples. We hope that these results will help us better understand bone diseases as well, and how we can strengthen them. Interesting. Uh, More about bone health and what we should be aware of. High energy X-rays leave trace of destruction in bone collagen. So if you're around a lot of X-ray machines, take supplements to protect your bone health. It's true. That's one of the things that I learned when I was in the military. We had to understand radiation damage and different types of damage from nuclear type things, and just all at all levels, right? Technologies and natural resources. Yeah, and bone health is very much an important factor when in consideration to being around these technologies and these high level and high energy machines and materials. A team of medical researchers that analyzed damage by focusing high energetic X-rays and bone samples from fish and mammals at Bessie. With a combination of microscopy techniques, the scientists could document the destruction of collagen fibers induced by electrons emitted from the mineral crystals. X-ray methods might impact bone samples when measured for a long time, they conclude. Until now, the model has actually been more flux and higher energy is better, but because you can achieve greater field and depth, higher resolution with more intense X-rays, it's probably more damaging. They didn't say it's probably, but that's me. Bessie 2 generates a well-characterized broad range of X-rays, precisely focused in an intermediate energy X-ray, which allows insights into the finer structures and even chemical and physical processes in materials. Thanks to sensitive detectors and rather mild irradiation conditions in Bessie, as compared with harder X-ray synchrotron sources, we were able to demonstrate on our various bone samples that collagen fibers become damaged by the irradiation absorption in the mineral nanocrystals. The beams left a trail of destruction that is clearly visible in the confocal and electron microscopy images. The high energy photons from the X-ray light trigger a cascade of electron excitations. Ionization of calcium and phosphorus in the mineral then damages proteins like collagen and bone. Breakdown of collagen increases with the duration of the irradiation, but also shows up even more in short irradiation at high flux. Pretty much when you're around X-ray machines and high radiation machines, ionization of calcium and phosphorus in the mineral damages protein like collagen in the bone. So it disrupts chemicals, which then damages proteins. X-ray methods are considered non-destructive in materials and research, but at least for the research of bone tissues, this is not true. We have been more careful in basic research, but we don't see any damage in various structures that we actually want to analyze. So they're not looking because they don't want to. And then they're not saying if there's damage because they're not looking. But let's get on to a lighter note. Metabolic hacks makes ocean algae more resilient to 21st century climate change. So this is a two-part, and we're just gonna brush through this real quick. I'm gonna make this a quick one. It's already been nearly in 45 minutes. All I want to do is brush by some quick news for you guys, and that is all. Metabolic hack makes ocean algae more resilient to 21st century climate change. So scientists provide clear evidence that marine phytoplankton are much more resilient to future climate change. So they, in their own DNA, these phytoplankton change, like the RNA in the squid, like I said yesterday. Now, the second piece of this is Palau Rocks Island harbor heat-resistant corals. Just some very, very powerful corals that can resist high heat. It's just to show that nature is very resilient, and I'm very positive God made you resilient, God made me resilient, God made all of us resilient. We are much more capable than we know, and the world is much greater than we know. And that is all for today, folks. You guys have a wonderful day. I love you guys. You guys take care. Peace and blessings to you all.
Meditating, analyzing everything I see, so I see new horizons. Took the acid, feeling blasted in my brain, so I've been sitting up inside it, thinking about the present and the future. I'm improving. cause I am a trooper. Never getting caught up in the loop. Got up out it cause I found the truth. Woke up to a beauty of the day. The sun is shining, so I'm finna stay. Sitting, soaking up all of the rays till I feel it surging through my brain like some booger sugar. Did a lot of cane, experimented with it, couldn't name all the times I did it, feeling like a fade. Yeah, I'm really glad that I let it go, cause I gotta be prepped for the time when the plane ride is a new norm. So I know I'm gonna stay high, blaze on the ganja, feeling like I make my music go to another level while I take off. I can't ever stop this, fell in love with it, fit like a glove, so I'm never ever done with it. So now I'm about to rip another beat, ayy. One day I'll make a million in a week, yeah, shooting for the top spot. Feel like I'm a hot shot, like I really got a chance with it. I will not flop, somebody gonna make a dance when I pop off. Gonna have all the bitches taking all the tops off. I've been feeling like I'm really gonna kill it for the rest of my life, so I've been staying focused. In my soul, I've been feeling like $1 million, so I know that everything is really getting closer. Yeah, no posers, only been hanging with the ones I've chosen. Only all the people that are living in the right way, cause they spending every day growing. Yeah, no whole shit coming in my life and then leaving in a moment. That's the shit I'll never let into my life again, cause lately I've been feeling like I'm golden. Never showboat, I just showcase on my music that I made this far. Always knew that I could be the one that would get this far. Now I'm right here looking in my mirror, trying to figure out if there's any more fear, cause I'm getting rid of it all, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting rid of it all. Meditating, analyzing everything I see, so I see new horizons. Took the acid, feeling blasted in my brain, so I've been sitting up inside it, thinking about the present and the future. I'm improving.